Hey everyone, welcome back to my show. Today we are tackling a topic that many people hear and don't often understand, and that is called the so-called geriatric pregnancy. Let me clear up something right away. Geriatric pregnancy does not mean you are old. It doesn't mean that you are frail or incapable. It simply means that you're pregnant after the age of 35 or older. It's a medical term and it basically labels moms who are advanced maternal age. Now, obviously, the name is a little outdated. Geriatric pregnancy sounds rather harsh, but the reason behind it is extremely important. Women over the age of 35 face higher risks during pregnancy and postpartum. So it's really important for me to do this episode for my fellow geriatric moms. Your body is different. Difference between you and a 20-year-old is just not the same. Welcome to Fourth Trimester Voices, the podcast where we delve deep into the fourth trimester. I'm your host, Dr. Choa. My name is Dr. Cho. I'm an ER physician who takes care of postpartum moms. This is my day job. Let's get into it. We're going to first break down what the risks are of having a baby after 35. What does it look like? And how do you choose who to give birth with, where to give birth with? What describes a high-risk pregnancy versus a low-risk pregnancy? And how do you plan your postpartum journey with all of this in mind? My goal for you today is that you walk away feeling like, okay, I have a plan, right? For most of you moms who have waited until having a baby later, you're probably very high functioning. Maybe you're a career woman. Maybe you just took a little bit longer, but a lot of you have a lot of control over certain aspects of your life. So having a postpartum plan is really going to come in handy. If you are the personality that I think you are, this is something that is a must for you. Let's talk about the risks. Let's understand what exactly is the risk of having a baby after 35. When you're pregnant after the age of 35, your doctor, your midwife is going to talk to you about certain things. So let's name a few so that you know exactly what I'm talking about. Number one, gestational diabetes is twice as common in women over 35. High blood pressure, preeclampsia, they're all more frequent. C-section rates are much higher for women over 40. Nearly half of births occur with C-section. Your chances of having a C-section after the age of 40 are pretty high. There's also a higher risk of chromosomal abnormalities, preterm birth. There's a higher risk of hemorrhaging after you give birth. There's just a lot more things that happen. It's not a one size fits all. You may be 35 and have a pregnancy that is completely unhinged. In medicine, when we talk about risks, we take a whole bunch of women who have had the same outcome. So they've had a baby, and we look at their pregnancies, childbirth, and delivery experiences, and we see what common conditions do these women have in the room and what do they have in common, right? If you take women over the age of 40 and you put them all in a room and they've all had baby, you would find out that nearly half of the women in that room have had a C-section. Risk doesn't mean that this is going to happen to you. It just means that this is what we have seen in research and in clinical practice. Right now, about 1 in 5 pregnancies in the United States is a woman 35 or older. At age 40, the risk of stillbirth at 39 weeks is 2.2 per 1,000 pregnancies. For women under 35, that risk is 1.4. So you are twice as likely to have a stillbirth pregnancy at 39 weeks than somebody who's under 35. So you're hearing all of this, and maybe you remember some of the measures that your doctor has put in place. It's because of things like this, right? These numbers doesn't mean that you're not going to have a safe pregnancy and carry it to 40 weeks, but It does mean you have a lot to think about and you should be intentional about planning your care, whether that's pregnancy or your postpartum recovery. Let's talk about the first thing that I think is super important. I know this show, we talk about postpartum planning and postpartum emergencies, but I really do like to talk about pregnancy as well because it does play into your postpartum journey. It is really important for you to know your risk level. Am I high risk? Am I not high risk? That's number one. The next decision after you do that is to determine who is going to be your doctor and where are you going to be delivering. For women over the age of 35, your hospital setting matters. The older you get, at 40, your hospital setting matters. Depending on your age and where you are, a lot of women who are advanced maternal age are limited to a hospital setting. That may be because of midwife practices or midwife policies, or if you're thinking of a birth center, it's just their policy. These are settings where midwives deliver low risk pregnancies. If you are advanced maternal age, the chances are you are higher risk. They look at this as a play by play or person by person, but this is just generally, I'm talking in general. So let's talk about hospital births. Hospitals are the safest option if you are high risk, and that's a fact. There are things in place that will help if there is an emergency. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, gestational diabetes, or a history of C-sections, you need to be in the hospital because you may need immediate access to an obstetrician. You may need immediate access to an operating room. And so time is money. The further away you are from a hospital, when you have a high risk condition, the lower your chances of either you or baby surviving. The trade off, unfortunately, is that hospitals do come with interventions, and that's just what it is. I'm in the hospital. I work in the hospital. I'm an ER physician, so I know this. I think we do great work in the emergency department, but if you come to the ER constantly, you're going to get more labs, more tests, more instrumentation. It's just the nature of it. High risk of interventions. There's a birth center. Birth centers are usually staffed by midwives and support natural birth in a home-like environment. There's very strict protocols. You should be making sure they have ways to transfer you to the hospital. Generally, birth centers are for low-risk pregnancies. You really need to be low risk to have a baby at home. That means not having gestational diabetes, not having preeclampsia, not having twins, not having any history of major complications. And then you should be between 37 and 41. Usually they'll deliver you between 37 and 41 weeks. If you're going to have a home birth and you are advanced maternal age, you have to be thinking about how far you are from the hospital. If you are advanced maternal age or you're high risk and 2 hours from a hospital, that's dangerous. Definitely have these conversations with your midwife or OB and have a clear plan. If you are advanced maternal age, the safest place for you to deliver your baby is in a hospital setting. But there are many women who are 35 and older who are low risk. Definitely have these conversations with your OB/GYN. Let's talk about a high risk pregnancy and what makes a pregnancy high risk. Age by itself doesn't automatically put you there. We've talked about diabetes, high blood pressure, all of these things. When you're going through a high risk pregnancy, generally you have to see a specialty of OB/GYN called maternal fetal medicine. These are high risk specialists and they follow you with your OB. They do more specialized testing, more ultrasounds, more monitoring in the third trimester. And they usually will want you induced early. Instead of waiting typically for 41 weeks, 42, they want you induced at 39. Women over 40 have a higher risk of stillbirths. And so they really want to induce you at 39 weeks to prevent complications. You can have conversations with your doctor if you're generally healthy, but you have to know all of the risks that are involved with waiting or not waiting, and then make an educated decision for you and your body and your baby. Okay. So let's talk about the part that gets overlooked, postpartum. So, what happens after the baby is born in a geriatric mom, right? Postpartum for 35 and older women is going to look different. Number one, because the risks don't just disappear. The same risks that were there during pregnancy are going to be there in the postpartum periods. You're going to be more vigilant. Your physical health is your priority. Healing is going to take longer. Getting from point A to point B after a C-section, your recovery is going to be longer. You're going to need more rest, more structure, more help at home. If you are over the age of 35 in a geriatric pregnancy, if you are over the age of 35 and categorized as having a geriatric pregnancy, you need pelvic floor therapy. It's essential. Older moms are high risk for incontinence, prolapse, and early therapy can prevent long-term issues. You want to definitely be checking your blood pressure in the postpartum period. Cardiovascular monitoring is critical. You're checking your blood pressure constantly. You're monitoring for swelling in your legs, right? You're checking your body, make sure you're not having any blurry vision, swelling in your face, because postpartum preeclampsia can appear days or even weeks after you give birth. So you want to really take inventory of your body. Am I having chest pain? Am I having headaches, swelling, shortness of breath? In the postpartum period, nutrition matters more than ever. You're going to have to make sure that your doctor is checking a vitamin D level. You got to make sure you're eating enough nutrients that have calcium, vitamin D, magnesium, protein. You want to hydrate because you need to fuel your body to be able to heal. Note of physical health, you want to make sure that you are not rushing into things too much. I love talking about a hormone called relaxin. I had one patient who came to the emergency department who literally suffered bilateral ankle fractures. She broke both of her ankles because she was doing too much. She had kids and she was trying to do it all, and she fell down the stairs and broke both of her ankles. Movement needs to be gradual. Gentle walking first, gentle yoga, core, pelvic floor strengthening, and then kind of add on to that. If you have contact with a pelvic floor therapist, they can help you build a plan around increasing your physical activity. Your planning is everything. You're going to have to build your postpartum village. You got to tell the people who are coming in the home, notify them who's not coming in the home, write this all down. You got to line up your OB, midwife, pediatrician, your pelvic floor therapist, your mental health provider, lactation support, write them all down. Arrange help for your meals and childcare. Gather all your supplies. Don't be last minute and have a good idea of what is happening at what point in your pregnancy or postpartum. This is not really about just making it to your 6-week checkup. This is survival, moms. You got to really structure your life and you have to take a proactive approach to your care. Nobody's going to do this for you. Doing this is going to really set you up for long-term success. Being 35 or older does not mean that you're old to thrive in motherhood. It just means that your body needs more attention. We've gone through more periods of time in life. We've acquired certain conditions. Nothing is visibly wrong with it, but like internally, there's some wear and tear there. And so as you get older and you're a mom and you get pregnant, there is some invisible wear and tear on the body. And so in the postpartum period, you have to be cognizant of that fact that your 35-year-old body is not the same as your 18-year-old body. So you got to treat her with care and gradually increase your activity. Just plan. You're going to need more planning, more attention, more support in this period. Gather all the people in your life. Whether you deliver in a hospital, a home birth setting, a birth center, you need to know your risks of each location and you need to have a plan moving forward because here's what we're doing in 2025. We are taking responsibility for our choices. If we know we are high risk, we are going to move accordingly. And if we choose to have a baby in a setting that may not necessarily be for high risk moms, we're taking accountability for that. And that is okay. I totally believe in women making their own choices. They're informed decisions, but we're going to take accountability for that as an emergency room physician. You need to plan for every scenario, right? And then once baby is here, you want to prioritize your healing. You want to prioritize your pelvic floor, your nutrition, your rest, and taking an inventory of your body and making sure that you are aware of the complications that could happen. Age is not a barrier. It's simply a reminder that your health matters. Send this to a mom who is 35 and older. This is just your reminder that we need a little bit more. I say we because if I was to get pregnant today, I'd be having a geriatric pregnancy as well. So we need more care. We need more support. Holding a baby in your older age requires more planning, more attention from those that you love. If you do need help with this, please don't hesitate to give me a call. Find me on Instagram at Dr. Choa. I'm definitely here to help you get through this process. Every mom matters. It doesn't matter your age. Every mom deserves love, deserves motherhood support, deserves informed care. All right. If this episode resonated with you, share with a mom, share it with a friend. Definitely, you can order my guide online called What to Expect Next. I can help you plan out your postpartum. Let's connect at a later time. My name is Dr. Choa. It's been lovely speaking with you all. My name is Dr. Choa, and it's been lovely talking with you all today. Take care.